with our industrial real estate podcast. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're doing episode 12. It's Do Industrial Tenants Need a Broker? Thanks for joining us. We do our weekly podcast on industrial real estate topics. You can find on our website at warehousesmarket.com. You can see our information on who we are. Our team specializes on industrial space and land here in South Florida, and we work with multiple clients on the industrial side. You can follow me, Edison Vasquez, on Instagram at Edison Industrial, on Twitter at Edison CRE, and on LinkedIn at Edison Vasquez PA. Thanks for joining us. You can also find on our YouTube channel. You can watch this on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ComRealEdison. And lastly, you can also listen on our Apple Podcasts or whatever you get to your podcast on Google Play or Spotify. So please leave us your feedbacks, leave us your comments, and feel free to add any topic that you would like to see featured here. We're open to feedback. Thanks for joining us. So without further delay, like I said, episode 12. This episode is concentrated on helping tenants and giving tips for tenants on what to look for when they hire a broker to represent them, and what are the advantages of having a broker represent you on the negotiations for a lease of a warehouse. So first, the question is, do industrial tenants need a broker? Easy answer, yes. Leasing industrial property, unless you're Amazon or a large company, Coca-Cola, can be a complex scenario, and most business owners are trying to run their business, so leasing a warehouse is not an everyday thing. So it's important to have somebody guide you and represent you. Now, as a tenant, you will need guidance through the process from an expert who specializes in industrial space. And if going back to our previous podcast, it's important for the broker to specialize on the specific field, in this case in industrial. So you want a broker who is going to represent you properly and is knowledgeable in the market and on the industrial space. Also, landlords will most likely have agents representing them. So the agent that represents the landlord will look after the landlord, and they will look to negotiate the best terms for the landlord. Whereas in your case as a tenant, you need somebody who can look after your best interest, negotiate the best deals, and has experience on negotiating the terms that can benefit you and bring you the most improvements to the space and the best terms overall in the lease agreement. And again, a tenant needs an agent who can basically be a fiduciary duty for the tenant, and that will bring you the best results. So we posted this on our website. You can look at our services, tenant representation. But this is an overview of what the benefits are to having a broker represent you on the location of a new space or in the negotiations of a lease agreement, and even a renewal agreement. So if you are looking to renew and stay with the landlord, it's still important to have a broker represent you, an experienced broker represent you, and negotiate the best renewal terms. Because going back to the first point, the landlord has an agent representing and looking after their interests. So it's important you as a tenant to have an agent represent you on the best term. So here are some advantages and some points that we have come up for tenants on industrial space. Number one, the tenant broker works for you. And again, the tenant represents the agent for the brokerage company. He works exclusively for you. He will look for other spaces. He will assist you with proposals, request for proposals, negotiate the best terms, and through the experience of the agent, you'll be able to see what are the terms of the market, what other tenants are negotiating, what terms are common in the market, because you don't want to be either too low or too high, or you're too low and then you're out of the market and you don't engage in any offers, any proposals, or you're out of the market and you're unable to get any space. Another good point and advantage to have a broker represent you is you'll have access to more properties. If you are we're talking to the agent or the landlord, he might only show you 1 or 2 spaces in the park or 1 or 2 spaces from the landlord, and they will not be able to show you everything that's on the market, everything that could fit your business and that could make you be efficient. So it's important to have a broker represent you who is going to show you all the options available in the market and available to you that can be a better fit. So who knows, maybe there's another space that you're looking for and that space fits you better. That can be another move, and you never never find that space if it wasn't for having somebody representing you. Number 3, it will save you time and money. So if you have a broker represent you, you don't have to go around looking at every single space and getting information in every single space. The broker will help you narrow down the selection, narrow down the points based on what the broker learns from you. We as brokers, when we meet clients, we learn the business, we see the business, and we tend to see what spaces that could fit, and that we can narrow the selection instead of seeing 120 spaces. We're able to narrow down the selections to the top 5, 10, or even less. That could be the better fit, saving the company owner time and money, because the company owner or whoever is making the decision in the company is running a business. They don't want to spend days, hours, weeks looking at spaces, so they want to have the top spaces that's going to fit their criteria. Another point, you get added negotiation power. Again, going back to the point of experience, a broker who is experienced in the market and has done many transactions in the area can give you that power, that leverage to negotiate the best terms for the landlord, whether it's free rent, tenant improvement allowance, capital improvements that you need for the space, or maybe some improvements for the machinery that you're looking for, whether it's refrigeration or manufacturing. So there are different ways that the tenant rep broker can help you negotiate those terms. And even if you're a new company, maybe the broker can help you negotiate terms where you are less vulnerable to financial. So they're able to lower either your personal guarantee, lower the deposit, or things that can help you move ahead and make the business work. Another advantage of having somebody represent you is that every landlord has their own lease agreement. So lease terms can be very confusing, and it's important for the tenant broker to go over the lease term. Although here in Florida, agents by law they are not able to make changes to the lease or review the lease. That will be your attorney, which a good tenant broker should help you locate an attorney if you don't have one, or should have connections with a real estate attorney who can help you negotiate the lease. But in terms of just outlining the terms, a tenant rep broker will be able to outline the best terms and explain to you what are the terms, whether it's when the rent starts, how many months you get free, and all the terms that can help you summarize. And going back to saving money and time, the tenant rep broker should be able to save you time and money by not having you to do all that. Another good point is you will get exactly what you need. So going back to us brokers learning the business, learning from our clients, we're able to see things that can help the business be more efficient, whether it's more loading doors, higher ceilings, more heavy power, more parking, better location. So those are things that bring value, and that as a company you will be able to get exactly what you need without having to spend the days, weeks, and months locating a space. A tenant rep broker, an efficient, effective, experienced tenant rep broker, will be able to save you time and get exactly what you need at the right time, so before the lease expires. And another point is, we explained this on our previous podcast, the importance of having a team. So when you're looking at somebody to represent you as a tenant rep broker, be sure to select a team. A lot of landlords have teams working for them and representing them in the leasing of the park, or leasing the building, or leasing the complex. in your case, it's important as a tenant to not only have one broker, but have a team of agents in that office, in that company, that can help you be the best and negotiate the best terms. In our case, we are a team. We work as a team, and we service our clients as a team. Of course, one of us will have a main contact and will be the lead contact for that specific client. But we all work as a team, and we're all able to service the client properly. And it's important as a team that we are able to bounce ideas of each other, and maybe during the lease negotiations we're stuck on something and we're able to bring ideas that can push the deal forward. So it's as a tenant, you want to look for a team to represent you in the lease negotiations. And last but not least, in 90% of the cases, when you are leasing a space and you hire a broker to represent your lease negotiations, you don't have to pay for that service. The landlord, most likely, again, most of the cases, there are some cases where it's off-market deal or the landlord is a little difficult or challenging, but for the most part, the landlord pays for the service of the agent representing you, which is a great advantage because you get service and that service is paid by the landlord. So that's a great advantage to you, and you get full service while the landlord paying for that fee. So it's definitely take advantage of that. If you are unsure about what to do or don't understand lease terms, reach out to one of us in the office or reach out to your broker. They will help you, they will guide you through the process and make you feel comfortable with the space. That's our goal. We want to make tenants feel comfortable with the space and make sure that they're happy in the space, because it's not a 1 or 2 or even 3 year. In most cases it's a 5, 7, 10 year commitment. So we want to make sure that that space is the right space for them, where they're going to grow the business, where they're going to become a big company and keep growing and keep developing. So it's important for us as brokers to service the customer properly and give them the proper service to reach that property and get that space for the next 5, 10 years, where they can expand their business and who knows, maybe become the next Amazon. So these are the tips that we as brokers have used and how we recommend to prospective tenants. There are plenty of more that we can add, but these are the most common and the ones that we have used and that we help with tenants. Again, you can reach out to us anytime. Visit our website, warehousesmarket.com, and you can send us an email at miamiindustrialteam@comreal, and also call us anytime. Our office number is 786-433-2380. As we do on every podcast, we feature a property and then we'll give you our industrial tip. Our featured property today, it's we have a sublease that is right next to the airport, actually within a mile of the cargo center of Miami International Airport. The address is 3100 Northwest 74th Avenue. The space is available for sublease. We have 35,500 square feet with about 6,500 square feet of office space. And the warehouse is about 29,000 square feet. 2 dock doors, beautiful high ceiling, 22 clear. It was a old manufacturing building, so it has very heavy power, 3-phase. It also has floor drains and that can service any food companies or any light manufacturing that need floor drains, and it has plenty of parking capacity to accommodate that. So very efficient, and the best part is very well priced compared to the market. We're only advertising $895 per square foot industrial gross, which means, as we have explained in the past, $895 industrial gross. It includes the operating expenses that the owner has. In this case, is a sublease, so it will be a sublease with the current tenant in the building. And the building is 35,000. The space is 35,000 square feet, and it is available immediately. Then, as we get to the final point of our podcast, we do give you our industrial tip. This tip helps tenants and landlords and our industrial user. In this case, since we gear this podcast over industrial tenants, we want to give you an industrial tip as a tenant. Most cases when there's there's lack of confidence from the landlord. The landlord doesn't feel confident with the financials of the company, whether it's a large company or a small company or new company starting. Sometimes the financials are not strong enough to justify the space, and the landlord may not feel confident moving forward. So what they do is they ask for extra deposit, they ask for a personal guarantee or some assurance that the tenant is not going to default, or in the case of a default, the landlord has some insurance. So, and what we recommend as a tenant is to go for the longer deposit, whether it's an extra month, 2 months, whatever is negotiated. Again, your tenant broker should be able to negotiate the best terms and give you and try to reduce that deposit as much as possible. On top of that, the tip is that if you get that extra deposit, whether it's an extra month, 2, or a certain amount of money, work with your tenant broker, or the tenant broker can suggest to the landlord to refund that extra deposit after a year 2 or a year 3, or in a scale. It could be a portion after year 2, a portion after year 3. So the important thing is, after year 2, you have paid all your rent on time, and you are going strong, going well, and you want to show the landlord, hey, I'm good, I made it, let's go. So now the landlord can refund or give you a credit for the extra deposit that you did at the beginning when you signed the lease. So that has been negotiated in the past, and I think the landlord should be able to help you that way. So that's a tip that you can do as a tenant to help push the deal where the landlord is not comfortable with financials, but they still wants to make a deal. So give that extra deposit, and after year 2 or a certain time, the landlord can give you that money back or credit you for that amount. So again, hope this helps. Please leave us your questions, your feedback. We appreciate anything. I appreciate all of you looking at us and watching us. If there's anything that you see different, that you'd like to see different, please let us know. We're always open to feedback. If you like, please subscribe, rate us on your podcast platform, whether it's Apple, Google Play, or Spotify. We'll really appreciate it. And as always, we always are welcome to help clients with the sales and leasing of industrial space in South Florida, and additionally land sites. And also we help many companies across the country with our affiliates that we have across the country through CCIM and SIOR. Well, thanks for tuning in today. You can find more information about us at warehousesmarket.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Edison Vasquez PA. You can follow me on Instagram at Edison Industrial, and on Twitter at Edison CRE. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Be safe.